safety. And now they know they've got a guy with a massive cannon back behind them just waiting to rip them apart. They can't afford to make the move yet.
And it looks like either they don't have or they're not willing to use any offensive utility to really dig them out of there. The smoke's just putting everything on pause for now. Pixel, he's more than happy to wait and see what happens. He's down to about half HP. I think that might have been the result of a Molotov. Red Rider peeking, jump peeking. Oh, there you go. Good job from Orion. Once those smokes cleared, to make sure that they did not take any more trades in that. They do lose RJX, but they do have a great position now here on the western side of the circle, Matt.
Ooh, but they've got to be careful. LG has a hilltop opposing them with a bit more of a high ground advantage onto them. So looks like it's not going to be as comfortable as they want it. They're trying to make a bit of a move down that hillside. It's going to be Babbler going in front. The rest going to be coming up right back behind them. But see, it's going to be constant harassment coming out from LG. The couple of moves that Orion could have made before this, whenever LG was distracted, is gone. Now nothing else is really moving inside the circle except for Orion. But oddly enough, those guys have a defensive line back in and are kind of defending Orion, taking the shots into LG.
Yeah, the one thing that they've got going for them is they've got this Murano. They have a vehicle. They can try to find somewhere to play here. You have to assume that they know, or at least are assuming that that compound is occupied where those guys are. Not really wanting to make that push if they don't have to, and they don't. They have a nice rock here that they can play for now, but those guys have been sitting here waiting for this opportunity. Doc Geo puts the grenade right in their pocket. Flood will help the rest, and that is it for Orion.
All right, well, you got your kills. Now you're going to have to make a move. LG still up on top of that hillside. Also, remember, we have Funny Business that's over there next to STK, and they're in a bit of an awkward standoff, very, very close to each other. And outside that, our fifth team is still Vegas, clinging to life over there, just kind of figuring out a way to see if he can kind of creep in. A lot of that is going to hinge on how TG manages to move, though.
Look, never forget Tego yesterday. Vegas managed to snake out a second place finish for Elevate on that map. Managed to get a few kill points to go along with it just by being a very sneaky survivalist here, as we're calling them survivalists now. We don't call them snakes or rats. He's surviving. He's getting points, making money for the boys.
He is surviving. Maybe he'll be able to afford shoes one day.
One day.
I love how there's still all the conversations around shoes and whatnot. Vegas, your little hidey hole is a problem until I guess TG makes their move. But the problem with that is TG they swooped in just down below everything, and this is a really clean reposition, given the amount of angles that could have been firing at them. LG doesn't really have the cleanest way to attack this, and now it's just kind of them and shoot to kill in this low ground position that's going to be very hazardous for either one to make a move from.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a game of chicken between LG and those guys to see who was going to make the move first. LG don't necessarily have to go anywhere just yet, but again, as you said, that high ground is Good night, sweet prince. That high ground is starting to go away for LG, and now they are on the move, and instead of taking it to those guys, they're going to send it right above STK and right on the other side of Funny Business. So right now, this is actually a really nice spot for LG, unless Funny Business just has a boatload of grenades, which it looks like they might. Being real slow about it, at least.
Realize the fact that TG could kind of creep their way up a bit. So I love the fact that Mime kind of bisected into this, stopped Doc so that way he couldn't make any form of move. Now we've got LG playing right on that cliff facing, and with the way that the rocks have lined up, they really can't see what's going on with Funny Business, right? So this is just going to allow Purdy to make a desperation push over there. You can see the fact that he's got himself, he's got the Panzerfaust just ready to go, but the angle isn't going to be provided. The high ground doing too much damage.
They have no idea how close he is. Oh my God, if Purdy Curdy, he is begging his guys to give him cover fire right now so that he can sneak up to him. You see he had the Panzerfaust in hand. I want to see it so bad. He is going to come around that corner and just Panzerfaust the absolute hell out of those guys. And I'm absolutely here for it. Kurt just holding the line for the time being right now. Doc Geo holding the high side for those guys as well. And I'm not sure if LG realized, there it is. Oh, he got one. No, he didn't get, he got one with the Molotov, and then he just got, damn it, Kurt. You had it. He had it. He wussed out on the push.
To be fair, though, him just staying into that position is still highly beneficial. He can step back away. TG
would've
has
done
to
it.
make a move into the circle itself, so he can just line up, hope the fact that he gets some assistance, but it looks like TG is going to say, you know, I'm kind of done being on the east side of this road. I'm going to try to see if maybe I can make a bit more of a play on the opposing side of it. As LG, this is just such an awkward standoff. If you look at that mini-map, they are so close to each other. They've got FB that's just right up on top of them. They've got STK that they're on top of, and it is just such a precarious position to be holding right now. As if Doc decides to make a big play into this, it could just be the catalyst to go have everything go ham up here.
I'm actually really surprised that Chad was able to make his way across the street and hit that rock and stay alive for right now. That is him just being there and being alive is a threat to everything that STK has going on here. And is Purdy Curdy out of meds? I think he might be. He's just been sitting on low health there. As Flood will find Chad from the high ground, maybe peeking just a little bit too much there for Chad, but Doc Geo will return the favor, and Mime will do the same, covering for his boy. But this is all great news for Funny Business, as they're just still holding on to that high ground here.
Okay, now it's going to be Purdy in the low ground. Thought he had an opportunity to move forward, try to go for a flush. He got spotted out. And so now it kind of continues becoming problems in this low ground TG situation to work around, as they are inside the circle, but they've got the backs of the wall, and everybody is just getting picked apart. It is just Lemon Squeezy, the one that didn't send it over into the west. But not enough of a catalyst really in this hillside firefight yet, as FB now being a bit more of a beneficiary of Doc Geo going down. They can stretch out and they can start to kind of force and corral LG's movements to be much more focused on this hillside.
I mean, the dot has to be on the low ground, doesn't it? I'm actually not sure. Like the middle of this circle, it feels like, is kind of on that cliff edge, maybe just a little bit below, but it doesn't matter. Snaker is going to find the toesies of Tater. He's going to find Tater's beans, and he's going to find another one. T-Sock tries to be the aggressor, and Snaker's not having any of it. That AUG just singing for him right now. Keegan will win the 1v1 against Flood, but Snaker should be able to turn this around, as he's just hiding inside the smoke for the time being.
A lot of conversation going on around Mime, all this
There he
other
is.
stuff. Snaker says, don't forget about me. I got tons of work that I can put up here. Now, just looking into a high ground LG, into two members of STK. You kind of asked about the rocks. I think it's kind of on that upper outcropping. I'm not 100% certain. The center dot.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. And Adam can't manage to make it safety. So now numbers definitely favoring LG. They realize they can bully their way through it, but they have got to be careful. Taking just a little bit too much of an overstep just kind of presents them right up on top for Penta. Penta spots it. He does get the knock onto one. Spots out what's going on with Mime. Rello on the opposing side. Does Mime know what's happening? Information's going to get fed over. Quick pop off on that one is Penta going for the flashbang. Reads it. Knows where they're at. Going to try to go for the step around. Gets the knock onto one. Penta trying to clutch this one up. He wants to slam the door shut, and he does.
You cannot let Penta get away with that unbelievable clutch performance from shoot to kill. Luminosity. Wow. I mean, look, I understand they're in the lead. STK is in the lead. Luminosity, they're at the top of the leaderboard. What do they got to lose? Why not send them for a 4v1? But Penta up to the challenge.
That was such a hard fight to try to contend with, especially if you think about shoot to kill's positioning on this. They were just, look at what they were clinging to life on right now. That wall has been their safety for so long. So just trying to lean into that and having to just go off of ears on what's happening in the firefights above you, that was just so well read. And again, such a smart team and knows how to play that advantage.
It felt like LG were trying to get everybody down there at the same time, and for whatever reason the timing was just off, and Penta was in the perfect position to take complete advantage of that miscommunication, that missed timing, and that flash was just chef's kiss. I mean, that was perfect. Did everything it needed to be done.
I mean, it was just so ridiculously strong, so well executed through the entirety of that. I mean, it did get a little bit nerve-wracking at different times. Let's be honest on that one. But just as you're going through all of this, remember that if you are enjoying everything that's going on while we are on Miramar right now,